All right, everyone, buckle up, because today we're diving headfirst into some seriously cutting-edge AI stuff.
Sounds exciting.
It is, trust me. We're talking about two major developments that, get this, were released literally today.
Wow, talk about fresh off the press.
Right, it's like the future decided to fast forward a bit.
I like it.
Okay, so first up, we've got OpenAI's Deep Research System card.
I've heard whispers about this one.
Yeah, it's basically like a superpowered AI research assistant that can basically explore the entire internet.
The whole thing.
Love the whole thing. And then we've got this AGI framework documentation, which is kind of like a blueprint for building advanced AI systems that can adapt and learn.
So like a framework for building frameworks almost.
Kind of, yeah. It's
Yeah.
pretty meta when you think about it.
It is.
But the real mind blower is what happens when you combine these two.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
Imagine if you could give that superpowered research assistant, the one that can explore the whole internet and upgrade, like customizable superpowers.
That's a pretty powerful image.
And that's exactly what we're talking about here. It's like next level research capabilities.
I mean, it's more than just an upgrade. It's a whole new level of research.
Exactly. And we need to talk about how it works because, I mean, how do you even build an AI that's that smart A&D, that focused?
Well, that's where this AGI frameworks design comes in.
Okay, tell me more.
It's modular, so it's got all these different components working together.
What?
Well, there's a model manager, a consciousness manager, even an introspection module. It's pretty wild.
So it's not just one AI trying to do it all.
No, it's more like a team of specialized AI agents, each with their own skill set.
And they all work together under this framework's guidance.
Exactly. In this framework, it's like the project manager, keeping everything running smoothly.
That makes sense. So it's like having a whole team of AI researchers, but like digital ones.
And here's where it gets really interesting. The framework supports multiple consciousnesses, or you could think of them as threads of thought running simultaneously.
Oh, hold on. Multiple consciousnesses.
Yeah, imagine having a team of AI researchers, each one exploring a different aspect of your research question at the same time.
So it's multitasking, but like on a whole other level.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Okay, that is seriously impressive.
It is.
But, and this is a big but, if this AI is out there exploring the vastness of the internet, how do we make sure it's not picking up any bad habits?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah, I mean, how do we stop it from going down some weird internet rabbit hole?
Well, OpenAI, they knew this would be a concern, so they designed deep research with some serious safety protocols baked right in.
Like what?
It's like they gave this AI a really strong sense of what's credible and what's not.
So it can sort of tell the difference between like a scientific journal and a conspiracy theory forum.
Exactly. It can resist those less credible sources and focus on the good stuff.
That makes me feel a bit better.
And on top of that, the AGI framework acts as a kind of safety net.
Okay, so it's like double protection.
You got it.
A safety net, what does that actually mean?
Think of it like this. The AGI framework, it can have all these modules that act as filters
Filters for what?
for harmful actions.
Okay, so it catches those actions before they even happen.
Exactly. Like imagine there's this privacy guard module that prevents the AI from, accidentally spilling sensitive information during its research.
That's reassuring.
It is.
So basically, it's like this AI has a built-in ethics advisor making sure it's staying on the right track.
A good way to think about it.
That's a huge relief, especially with all the concerns people have about AI safety these days.
It's a valid concern.
But AI is constantly evolving, so how do we make sure these systems stay safe over time?
That's where the idea of continuous testing comes in.
Okay, so they don't just test it once and call it a day.
Nope. OpenAI has this whole preparedness framework.
And what does that do?
It basically tests for any potential risks in all these different areas.
Like what kind of areas?
Well, things like cybersecurity, biohazards, persuasion, even autonomy.
That's pretty comprehensive.
It is. They're constantly evaluating, making sure it's not stepping out of bounds.
So it's like a constant security check.
Exactly. Always making sure the AI is playing by the rules, even as it's learning and growing.
That's seriously impressive.
And the AGI framework, it's designed to incorporate that kind of monitoring as well.
So they're both on the same page when it comes to safety.
Yep. But it gets even more futuristic.
Oh, how so?
They're talking about an AI red team module.
Hold on, an AI red team.
Yeah, it's like a team of AI hackers.
Whoa, wait, they're making AI that hacks other AI.
Well, not exactly hack, but more like test for weaknesses.
So it's constantly probing for vulnerabilities.
Yep, trying to find any weaknesses before they can be exploited.
So it's like a dedicated team of AI security experts, but they're AI themselves.
It's pretty mind-blowing, right?
It is. So we've got AI that can do research and learn to make itself safer over time.
We're living in the future.
It really feels like it. But let's get to the big question, the one everyone's thinking.
Okay, hit me with it.
What does all this mean for the future of research? If AI can do all this, what amazing things could we achieve?
Now, that is a question worth exploring.
It is, and we're going to do just that right after a quick break. So we're talking about AI that can essentially do independent research. That's a pretty big deal.
It is a huge shift in how we think about research.
Right, because it's not just about making AI that's powerful.
No, it's got to be responsible, too.
Exactly, responsible AI. So how do we make sure of that?
Well, there's this concept called value agnostic design.
Value agnostic, that's a mouthful.
It is, but it's important.
So break it down for me. What does that even mean?
Basically, it means you're designing the AI without any built-in biases.
Okay, so it's not pre-programmed with any specific values.
Exactly. Think of the AGI framework like a really powerful tool.
Okay, I'm following.
It's a tool that can be used for all sorts of research goals.
Right, but the tool itself doesn't have an agenda.
Exactly. The responsibility for using it ethically, that falls on us, the humans who are using it.
So it's like giving someone a state-of-the-art lab.
Perfect analogy.
It's up to them to use it for good.
Precisely.
Okay, that makes sense. But it also puts a lot of pressure on those developers and researchers, doesn't it?
It does. It's a shared responsibility.
And that's why OpenAI was so careful with their deep research model.
Absolutely. They did extensive reviews, brought in outside experts, the whole 9 yards.
They really wanted to make sure they were thinking about the consequences.
It's not just about the technology itself, it's about the impact it has.
It's about the bigger picture.
That's it.
Okay, so let's shift gears a little and talk about the practical side of things.
Sure, let's get down to brass tacks.
Even with all these safety features, how do you actually manage an AI that's doing its own research? It seems like a logistical nightmare.
It can be, keeping track of all that activity.
I mean, it's exploring different research avenues, gathering data, even executing code.
It's a lot to keep track of.
It really is.
But the AGI framework has some built-in features to help. Well, for one, there's logging.
Logging.
Yeah, it keeps a record of every action the AI takes.
So it's like an audit trail. You can see exactly what it's been up to.
Exactly. Transparency is key when you're dealing with AI that has this much autonomy.
Because you need to know what it's doing.
Yep, but as these systems get more complex, we're going to need even more sophisticated tools to help us monitor them.
Tools to help us monitor the AI.
It's almost like we'll need AI to help us manage the AI.
Okay, now that is a wild thought.
It is.
But even with those tools, wouldn't we still need like a whole new generation of AI specialists?
Oh, absolutely. People who really understand how to build and manage these systems.
People who get the ethical implications.
It's not your average software development job.
Not at all.
And it's not just about training specialists.
You're right, we need to think about the general public too.
AI's becoming so integrated into our lives.
It is, it's everywhere.
So we all need to have some understanding of how it works.
The capabilities, the limitations.
We need to be able to navigate a world where AI is a major player.
It's a huge educational challenge, for sure.
It is, but it's also an opportunity.
An opportunity for what?
An opportunity to really rethink how we approach education.
I like that. So it's not just about teaching technical skills.
No, it's about fostering critical thinking, ethical awareness, adaptability.
We need to learn and adapt right alongside these AI systems.
Because they're constantly evolving and we need to keep pace.
It's both exciting and a little daunting.
It is, but one thing's for sure, it's happening.
Ready or not, here it comes.
That's the reality.
But let's focus on the positive for a moment.
Okay, I like where this is going.
If we can overcome these challenges, what kind of breakthroughs are we talking about?
I mean, what's the best case scenario here?
Mhm.
Well, imagine a world where human and AI researchers are working side by side,
Okay, I can picture it.
tackling some of humanity's biggest challenges.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Climate change, disease, poverty, the list goes on.
That's what gets me excited. This isn't just about making our lives easier.
No, it's about using AI to make a real difference.
To actually solve problems.
Exactly.
Okay, so how would that work in practice?
Well, imagine AI analyzing massive data sets.
Finding patterns that humans might miss.
Exactly. And it could help design experiments, test hypotheses, all sorts of things.
It's like giving human ingenuity a boost.
A turbo boost.
But we can't forget about the responsibility that comes with all this power.
Absolutely. We need to be thoughtful and proactive.
Shaping the future of this technology.
And that future is being built right now as we speak.
With every research project, every ethical discussion.
It's a collaborative effort.
And that's where you, our listeners, come in.
That's right. We need your voices.
Stay informed, engage in the conversation, demand responsible AI development.
The future of AI is not set in stone.
It's a story we're writing together. All right, so I've spent this whole deep dive talking about the potential of this deep research model and the AGI framework. And wow, it really feels like we're on the cusp of something huge, like a whole new era of research.
It is pretty remarkable when you think about it, how these two systems could totally change how we approach scientific discovery.
It's not just about using them as tools. It's like they could be our collaborators in the research process.
Exactly. Imagine AI working right alongside us, crunching those massive data sets, maybe even finding patterns we might miss as humans.
And even coming up with hypotheses, that's pretty wild.
It is. It's like having a team of these super-powered research assistants, the ones that never sleep and never get tired, just constantly working, pushing the boundaries of knowledge.
It's definitely exciting, but we've also talked about the challenges. Those can't be ignored.
Right. And I think one of the biggest things to remember is that these systems are still pretty new.
They're still in those early stages of development.
Exactly. And we're all still figuring out the best ways to guide them, to control them, to make sure they're being used responsibly.
It's like we're these explorers, setting out into uncharted territory, all excited about what we might find, but also aware that there could be some unexpected dangers lurking out there.
I think good analogy. I like that.
So as we move forward, what are some of the big things we need to be thinking about? What are the potential pitfalls?
Well, one of the most important things is how we train these systems, because at the end of the day, they're learning from the data we feed them.
Right. So if that data is biased or if it's incomplete in some way, the AI is going to reflect those problems.
Exactly. It's like teaching a student, if you give them bad information or a skewed perspective, well, they're not going to learn the right lessons.
So data quality, that's got to be a top priority.
It is, for sure. And the other thing, something we've touched on before, is transparency.
Okay, yeah, we got to be able to understand how these AI systems are actually working.
Not just trust them blindly.
Right, like how are they making decisions? What data are they using?
Yeah.
We need to be able to see inside to verify what's going on.
It can't just be a black box spitting out research findings.
But that brings up another question. How do you balance this need for transparency with the fact that these systems are so complex?
That's a great point, and it's where collaboration becomes so crucial.
Collaboration between who?
Well, everybody, really. AI developers, ethicists, researchers, even the public. We all need to be involved in these conversations about AI.
So it's about building a culture of responsible AI development.
Yes. A culture where we're constantly evaluating, questioning our assumptions, and making sure we're all moving in the right direction.
It's a pretty big responsibility, but it's also an incredible opportunity, right?
It is. I mean, think about it. We're literally shaping the future of technology, of research, maybe even of humanity itself.
And that's where you, our listeners, come
Okay.
in. Stay informed, follow the latest developments, ask those tough questions, because the future of AI, it's not predetermined. It's something we're all creating together.
That's right. The story's still being written.
And we all have a role to play in making sure it's a good one.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI-powered research. It's been quite a journey, and we hope it sparks some interesting thoughts and maybe even some healthy debate.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and most importantly, keep those critical thinking skills sharp.
The future's out there, and it's waiting for us to shape it.